Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast.
When you have a doctor's appointment, something that you do like annually, it will sneak up on you, right?
Well, sometimes you swear you just went.
Yeah. That's true, too. But when you have something, and usually it's an important thing that comes around annually, it's funny, Murphy, because I think I mentioned to you this weekend, we were sitting there on the sofa in the family room Saturday morning drinking coffee, just catching up because you'd been out of town. I told you I had a big appointment coming up for my bone scan, in which to bring anybody into the conversation. I do have osteoporosis, and I was diagnosed with it about 3 years ago, and I did 3 infusions, one every year around this time. Now the doctor, my bone specialist, says we're not going to do any more than 3 infusions because it's a very aggressive treatment. It's aggressive. Yeah. And so, but I do need treatment. So I've already done the 3, and this bone scan that I'm scheduled to get now, February of 2026, will determine if these infusions worked. Because he explained to me, you can get the infusion and check it the next day, and it doesn't make a difference because it takes a year for that medicine to seep into the bone and work, which is fascinating. So he wanted to check my bone density level a year after the last infusion, which here we are.
You thought you were going to be waiting forever, didn't you?
No, I knew it was coming around. But what I'm saying, the funny thing about me mentioning it to you Saturday is I didn't put it on my calendar. And I got the
well, you actually have the appointment
today.
Already. Oh, really?
I know. Today I got the email. So today is my appointment. My annual visit, and I know this is another interesting thing is they want you on the very same machine because I can't just get the bone scan at any place. They want it on the very same one because that very same
they want apples to apples
piece of equipment is sensitive. So today I will find out if these infusions worked, and I'm nervous. I want them to have worked.
I'm trying to remember. Did you get the results right away? When they scan, they assess it right then?
Yes, they always do. Like my OBGYN likes to look at it right away. And last time she looked at it and said, it looks like you do have some increased bone density. Not where we want it to be, not good enough. And then that's when I don't know, what kind of doctor he is. I call him my bone doctor. He was the one that said, I want to check it a year later because what I know, it's his specialty. He's like, what I know about this is that you can look at it right after, but I need the whole year for it to sink in to see what it really did. So there's a team looking at it right after, but then he wants to look at the year. So I'm excited about it. So they've looked at it all along. The reason I'm kind of nervous about it, I guess, is because I really want it to have worked in a big way.
Well, and just to, the reset here is you're on the very young end of osteoporosis being a thing. You're much younger than the standard, right, osteoporosis, patient. So anything that can work to help you for the future is really important because you've got a lot of years left.
I want to be active and healthy, and I want to feel good and not hurt myself easily. And I was told when I was diagnosed with this that you've got the bones of a woman 20 or 30 years older than you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like, why? They don't really know why. They just know, let's get you where you need to be.
Right.
And the reason I really want it to have worked is because I can't do any more infusions. They don't recommend that because of possible side effects. But I have to have some treatment. And if you're listening to this and you've been told you have osteoporosis, it is an easy sort of to ignore diagnosis because you don't feel it. You don't feel your bones. You don't know standing up, walking around that your bones are brittle. You know it when you fall and break. And that's why so many people don't know they have it until they fall and break a bone and they end up in, an orthopedic situation going, your bones are very brittle. This is going to happen again. We've got to do something about it. But I have to have treatment. The way it's been explained to me, they'll figure out something else. I may be on medicine for the rest of my life. We'll just see. But the way it's been explained is that my body, something about my body, and you too, if you have osteoporosis, is eating away your bone.
They ever say it's a redhead thing?
They've not said that. Now, he asked me a lot of strange questions about just, my skin. Do you have scalp issues? And I'm like, I kind of do have scalp issues. He was interesting, and he wrote notes down. And so after I have this bone scan today, he will get the results, and I will have a follow-up appointment with him.
So if it did not work, they have to come up with a new course of treatment.
Yeah.
If it did work, what do you do?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm hoping
that out too.
My dream would be that I could just take calcium and vitamin D and continue to do the exercises that I'm doing for the rest of my life, because I have added more strength bearing exercises so that I can improve my balance. If you can improve your balance and flexibility as you get older, you reduce your likelihood of injury.
Of a fall. That's why core strength training is so important. And over the last decade or so, you've heard, the focus on that. Because if you're basically a sedentary person and you choose one course of something that will benefit you later, it's core strength, because it's literally that. It's the core. It's the center. It's your balance. It's everything.
Yeah. So my pipe dream would be I can just take calcium and vitamin D for the rest of my life, but that's probably not going to be the case, considering I have an advanced case of it. There are women who are much older than me who have osteoporosis whose bones are stronger than mine for some reason. And so I'm going to have to do something else. I'm going to find out today. And the funny thing about it is, the first time I ever laid down on that bone scan machine, I told the lady, I was like, this is the most comfortable thing ever. It's the easiest test. It is the easiest test. The room is comfortable. The lights go down. You lay down, it goes, and it goes, again. Then you raise your knees up, and it goes, again. And I remember going, can I just stay in here for a while? That was before the diagnosis.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on. And I'm nervous about the results, but I wanted to just share it because, what's the point of something like this happening if you don't share it? It is something that can happen to you, and it is serious, and you could be walking around with it and not know it.
Well, it's another example of something that you can't feel, and it's not found until it's actually done, in a doctor's visit.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, by the time symptoms show up for some things, it's not always too late, but it can be. And so preventative medicine is everything.
Yeah.
You've been so consistent with exercise and being healthy that I believe you've supported your bones more than you realize through all of this. But I wonder, because you're redhead and you're fair skin and you purposely stay out of the sun, and the sun is a source of vitamin D, it's almost like a catch-22. If you're not in the sun enough, then you're not getting enough vitamin D, and then,
Well, I will tell you something that my doctor did tell me about this when I visited with him. I was asking him those sort of questions. Like, I know I should have been taking vitamin D. When I had my kids and I stopped taking prenatal vitamins, I stopped taking vitamins altogether. Mm-hmm. And he was like, he touched my arm. He says, you could have taken tons of vitamin D and you would still have this.
Oh, really?
This is something that you are predisposed to. We don't know why your body's eating your bones so quickly. We're just going to, I'm sure if he could just go in and study me, he would, but we're not doing that. He's just going to try to get me to where I can be strong for the rest of my life. And hopefully, and the irony is I've never broken a bone. You guys know that. I've never broken a bone.
Have you felt any of because you had mentioned earlier balance loss or anything, have you felt physically anything different?
No, I'm stronger. Since being diagnosed with it, I became more diligent. Mm-hmm. I do fudge on the weight training because I hate lifting weights, but I do more yoga, which is very core, very balanced, very flexibility, and there's a lot of muscle engagement to hold those poses. I do yoga about 3 times a week, and some people will think this is a fad in fitness or whatever, but I'm willing to try it. I did. I bet you don't even know this, Sam. Murphy knows. I bought a vibration plate, and I have that in our bedroom at home.
I don't know what that is.
It's a plate that you stand on, and you can do any sort and form of exercise on it, but it vibrates, and I could get up to 4 and 5, and I get on there and I do balance poses, I do squats, and it causes your body it increases. Some people say it doesn't, but it's good for your lymphatic system. It's good for balance for me.
Well, I think that's any other side benefits are the ones that they question, but the one, that they don't. Do you know what a Bosu ball is, Sam?
No.
Okay, a Bosu is the half ball with the rubber. It almost looks like a stability ball itself, but you stand on it.
Mm-hmm.
All
and
those
you do exercises.
Yeah, all of those are designed to strengthen your core because your muscles are having to work to maintain balance. It's much more effective than not moving at all. So there's some exercises that I wind up doing that are on Bosu. And so what Jodi's doing with that, this plate that moves, it's the same thing. You're doing your regular exercises, but it's strengthening your core even more because your body's having to work to stay stable.
Your body, let's just say instead of standing on your carpet and doing 10, over the arm raises with little weights, you do that standing on a vibration plate. Your body is even more engaged. And once you get off, or if you just stand on a vibration plate and you do it for 10 minutes, I have found I feel like I did more than I did. It's like you get off and you're like, whoa, I'm worn out. And so it's one of those things that I decided to try because they're not ridiculously expensive, and I have used it.
It became quite the popular thing over Christmas when everybody was hanging around the house. Everybody wanted to get on the vibration plate.
My cousin Phil goes, crank it up to 10. And we did, and he got off of there, and he was like, whoa, I need to go lay down.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I do that. I don't really know, but I know that some people have found relief with them. If you have back pain, lay on it. We watched a movie one time. We were watching some documentary, and I said, do you care if I bring this in? And I brought it into the family room, and I was like laying on it. My leg had been bothering me, so I just put it, it can't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't have scientific proof, nor do I have I don't really care to dig in to the research of it. I have a vibration plate. I like it. I feel like maybe even just mentally in my head, it makes my flexibility and balance better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important to me. I don't run anymore. I used to run, I used to run.
You still walk though, don't you?
I walk a lot.
With your vest?
When I want to walk with my vest, I do.
Oh, okay.
And you actually fell when you were still running one time. I remember that.
Yeah.
And that made me nervous because you scuffed yourself up pretty badly.
Foot. That's when I hurt my foot. I will say this though, it's if you've ever been diagnosed with something that's quiet like this that you could forget about, it's a wake-up call when you go to the doctor, and that's what they specialize in. Because when I go after my bone scan is today, and then after I go to, I want to say what kind of doctor he is, and I hate that I would have to Google it to tell you. But
he's a bone doctor.
Yeah, he's a bone specialist for sure.
I will walk in, and they will. The questions are interesting. Have you fallen recently? How are your hips and back? How do your hips and back feel? Because that's where the major bone loss is. On my scan, you can see the red areas where there's the worst bone loss, and it's my lower back on one side, and it makes you realize, oh, I really have this, because otherwise you don't know it or feel it
because it's internal.
It's internal.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's like high blood pressure.
Yes.
Unfortunately, a lot of people, if you don't go to the doctor, you're not ever going to know because you don't feel it. And it's really destructive if you don't catch it.
Something you could ignore.
Yeah.
The reason I'm scared of it and the reason I will pay attention to it and I'm doing all that I can is because I am such an active person. I don't want that taken away from me 20 years from now. I don't want to fall and then I'm in bed for months.
Seems to me that being an active person is actually what's going to help you get through all that and insulate, because at whatever point they find what they're going to find, you can only control so much. Mm-hmm. And I would say that, you have been so consistent, and it's not like you're an exercise junkie. You you incorporate an intelligent amount of exercise into your routine every single week, and you've done it for many, many, many years. And so the payoff is going to be there, as a result. It's not like you're just starting out today. Right. Everything that you've done to this point is going to support you for the rest of your life.
Listen to you. I feel like I got a little therapy from Murphy. Mm-hmm. And Sam, if you'd like, I'll bring in my vibration plate here to the studio. If you want to do some exercise.
I was going to ask you, but I would
I can bring it.
So we can try it.
Sure.
Maybe shoot a video.
It's not going to trip a breaker, right?
I don't know.
Oh.
Well, maybe I'll just come to the house.
Subscribe to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast. Free and easy.